Omar Lutfi here with Lutfi Innovations. Today I'm going to talk about a project I've built to help regulate the temperature of my basement. As you may know, I have 3 compressors in my basement and 3 evaporators upstairs. And this time of year, it is keeping my house cool. So it's about 90 degrees outside, and my house is being kept at about 72 degrees, and my basement ends up being about 80 degrees. So I'm trying to design a system to help cool the basement down a little bit without using too much energy. So here's what I've done. The first step is I used a project I had done for something else that involves a Raspberry Pi and some input-output. So here is the Raspberry Pi, and what it does is it controls 8 different outlets. So if I zoom out a little bit here, I can control each one of these outlets separately and turn it on and off through the Raspberry Pi. And over here, this mess of green and red and black wires is 4 temperature sensors. And each of the temperature sensor, one goes outside, one's in the basement, one's on the first floor, and one is upstairs. So I can monitor the temperature in real time and then make decisions. The next step of my project was to take a fan and cut it into a piece of styrofoam and press it up against the concrete of one of my basement windows. And this fan blows air out. And if you come over here, you can see the other window in my basement. I have the same deal, and this one blows air in. So hopefully my plan is that it's blowing as much air out as in, so it's maximizing the efficiency. That's the theory. And these 2 fans get plugged into the Raspberry Pi, and I can control it based on the temperatures of the 4 sensors. So that's the whole system, and I'll show you some of the code that I run on it. Okay, so here's my project. Here's my code from the Raspberry Pi, and basically what it does is it just sets up the relays to allow the Raspberry Pi to turn on and off these outlets. And there's some code here for getting the temperature sensor data. And basically this is the heart of the program, which is pretty simple right now. But what it does is it just prints out the temperature for all the temperature sensors, and then there's an if statement there. It says if it's cooler outside than it is in the basement, if it's 10 degrees cooler outside than in the basement, then turn the fans on. Otherwise, turn the fans off. So I made it pretty simple, and then it just waits a minute and it does it all over again. Okay, so now I'm running the fan program, and you can see the temperatures for, let me see if I can get this a little closer. So the outside 74, the basement 76. So what I'm going to do now is I've got the temperature sensor for the basement. I'm just going to hold on to that, and I believe that should get the temperature of the basement up 10 degrees. So if the basement's 10 degrees warmer than outside, then the fans will kick in the next couple of seconds here once the Raspberry Pi checks the temperatures again. And I have it set to check every minute, so it shouldn't take too long here. And hopefully my hand is warm enough to get it 10 degrees warmer. So any second now, it should be checking the temperatures again. All right, so now you can see it says the basement's 93 degrees. And if I come over here, I can see the relays, and these 2, you can see the red lights on it, connect to the fans. So if I trace it back up to the fan, you can hear that that's running. So there's the sound of the fan running. So basically what I'm trying to do is just dump the heat from the basement in the evenings when I can, just by using the 2 fans, and hopefully that will keep the basement cool for when it gets really hot. It's only pretty hot, although on Thursday it was 102 degrees here in Colorado, so that's rather unusual. So I guess we can see how this works, and hopefully it'll make my mini split system be more efficient. So thank you for watching, and have a good night.